assembled here, as well as our guests and Grizzlies fans watching on Grizzlies.com, the Grizzlies YouTube channel, and the Memphis Grizzlies app. So joining us on stage, Grizzlies President and General Manager of Basketball Operations, Zach Kleiman, Grizzlies Head Coach Taylor Jenkins, and besides Zach, we have the 9th overall pick in the 2024 NBA Draft, Zach Edey. And then we have Jaylen Wells, and we have Cam Spencer as well. So with that, we will open up for questions.
Zach Edey, I should say.
We did it this way to confuse you.
You said at the Combine that Memphis liked you and that you liked Memphis. So when they come up at number 9 and you're sitting there waiting to hear your name called, what was it that went through your mind? Did you feel good about Memphis taking you? And then what was the immediate feeling afterwards?
Man, they played their cards well. I had no idea that they were interested, but they've been on me since I was a sophomore. They were always a team that was really interested in me and had a lot of belief in me. They were really the only team that believed in me and would have given me a deal my sophomore years. That's always kind of resonated with me. That's always stuck with me. I was actually disappointed this year that I never heard from them, and then the draft comes up and all of a sudden I'm getting picked, so it caught me off guard, but I couldn't be happier.
Taylor, starting with you, just when you look at the draft class that Kleiman and everyone assembled here, what do you make of this? And then specifically starting with Zach, you talked about needing that physical presence, that big man. How do you think he'll reflect what you were telling us a couple months ago from that regard?
Yeah, well, first thing is when you look at all three of these men winners, that's the thing that we've constantly tried to prioritize, the makeup of not just the player but the person. As we've gotten to know all three of these guys, Zach, Jaylen, and Cam, through various interactions, it came across that these are three individuals we have to add to our group. As I always say, I've got the utmost faith in Zach and our front office, throughout the scouting process, intel gathering, evaluation. So to go through the process with them every year, to be able to have these three guys join our group, it's so exciting. They're all going to bring so many different things, to what we need as a team. Versatility, toughness, physicality, shooting, but winners at heart, willing to do anything possible to go out there and lay it on the line to make a winning play, not just for themselves, but for their teammates. And specifically to Zach, he has so many traits as a player and as a person that we fell in love with. As he said, we've been watching him for a couple of years, and obviously this process is always unique, the draft process, but getting to know him, everything that he stands for, the progress he's made as a player, 4 years at Purdue, he's unlocked so much in his own individual game. There's going to be things that we're going to lean on that he was so successful with at the collegiate level, and we're going to constantly challenge him to continue to adapt to the NBA game, and he's wired that way. So that's the stuff that, the makeup of the individual that we fell in love with. Obviously, his size, his, in my opinion, things that he can do on the defensive side. We talk about anchoring, our defense by protecting the paint, protecting the rim. That's altering shots, blocking shots, being a quarterback out there, the vision, the way he can see the floor, communicate, rebounding. He's got all those things already in his tool belt, and we're just going to continue to grow, his defensive versatility even more. And then offensively, he's got such a high IQ. Obviously, he's dominated at the collegiate level the last couple of years, especially the last 2 years, in a lot of different fashions, and that's stuff that we're going to lean into this early in his career. But as he continues to grow his offensive game, the pick and roll game, the connectivity with our elite guards that we have already, putting the ball in his hands to be a scorer and a playmaker for us, the touch and the shooting that we're going to continue to challenge him with. There's so much in his game that we're so excited about.
This is for Edey. 2 questions. First of all, Memphis is known for being the underdog city. It's well documented how you have not been projected well as a pro. How can you use that as motivation going forward? And second, what's your official nickname?
I don't know if I can choose my own nickname. I feel like that's up to y'all. But just being an underdog, it provides so much motivation. People keep counting you out. People keep telling you this. People keep trying to tell you who you are. Like people know me. It just adds fuel to the fire. It always, I don't pay attention to it anymore. I just let it fuel me. I let it go, and and then you kind of see it come out on the basketball court.
Zach, we heard your initial reaction after you were drafted. But Cam and Jaylen, what was y'all's initial reaction? All the hard work paying off, and now you're able to achieve your dream. But what was that feeling like when you found out you were going to be a Memphis Grizzly, both of y'all?
It was just a feeling of being blessed. I'm not really a person that shows a lot of emotion, so I didn't really show a lot of emotion when I got drafted. But it was just kind of a lot going through my mind. Even when the reporter asked me the first question, I didn't even really hear it until like halfway through the question. So, really, just excited to be here and blessed.
Yeah, like Jaylen said, I mean, it was a special moment, for me and my family. A lot of hard work to get to this point. So, not too emotional of a guy either, but, it was really special to just kind of look back on all the hard work and, where it got you to this point. And, I'm just super thankful for the opportunity that the organization is going to give me.
For Cam and Jaylen. First, Cam, what was it like going up against Zach in that national championship game, and how much have you guys talked about that since you've seen each other in the aftermath? And then, for you, Jaylen, you talked about your path being non-traditional, starting off at Sonoma State D2. Did you ever imagine that you would be sitting right here when you started off at D2, and what did it take for you to get to this point?
Me first. I mean, it was cool. Zach and I are actually with the same agency, so we were out training in Chicago together, and there's a little trash talk there for sure, but we're two competitive guys, and I think I have a ton of respect for him, and the career that he had at Purdue. We actually had some history the year before when I played at Rutgers, so a ton of respect for Zach, and it was pretty cool to match up against him in the national championship game for sure.
Honestly, if you asked me when I was a freshman at Sonoma State, I'd be thinking I'm gearing up for my 4th year at Sonoma State right now. I never doubted that I could be here, but honestly, just being in the seat right now is kind of surreal. But I know I put in the hard work, and I have the confidence to be here, so I'm ready for it.
On the long lines of that national title game, you guys two played against each other. Having played against each other, what would your scouting reports be for each other, for Cam and Zach?
Don't let him shoot.
Don't let him get the ball.
Hey guys, welcome to Memphis. This is like a pretty broad question for all three, but obviously you're looking out onto us. I know it's been a whirlwind of emotions for you lately in the last day, 2 or 3 days, but what are you most thankful for just, about this opportunity, and as you have some of your loved ones out here watching you as well?
I'm just thankful it makes you thankful for so much stuff, like the people that believed in you, the people that trusted you, the people that worked with you. Those are the important people in my life. Those important people that have always supported me, like my teammates, my coaches, my mom, my dad, my brother, my coaches from high school, like everybody that supported me and believed in me and gave me a chance. Just makes me thankful for them.
Yeah, kind of similar to that. Just thankful for having people surrounding me, just having a positive culture around me, especially my family. Just seeing them in the chairs right now in the media room is kind of just trying to hold my smile back. But yeah, definitely thankful for my family and the people that surround me.
Same thing. Super thankful for my family. Wouldn't be here without them. All the sacrifices that they've made for me. And times like this kind of make you reflect a little bit, on all the years, all the coaches that you've had, all the teammates that you've had to help you get to this point. So just a lot of gratitude to those people, for helping me get here.
For Zach Edey, what's your sort of outlook, your plans for the summer? Obviously, I know you've been involved with Team Canada and then Summer League. Do you have a plan yet, and has that been determined?
We're gonna have a dinner night and talk about it, so I'm not sure yet.
Kind of along the same lines, but to you, Kleinman. I guess I got to go by last name. But just have you figured out in terms of, especially more with Cam, Jaylen, Zach, who's going to be, a two-way standard deal, those type of things with the limited roster construction and availability that you have?
Yeah, just to kick things off from my end, want to first, just extend the formal welcome. You know, obviously, I spoke on on Zach, the other night, but Jaylen and Cam, welcoming all three of you guys now officially to the team. We couldn't be more excited about the group, that is now that's now with us here, going forward. I think Taylor hit it on the head when he led with, we brought in 3 winners. That's on the court and off the court. I think we have 3 individuals that are very much, cut from the cloth of the DNA that we're about, that we prioritize going to seek out, that we think are going to help elevate the group and be meaningful pieces to help us, get to that next level. As we went into the draft, when thinking about the second round, our hope, and Cam doesn't know this yet, but we were like, man, if at that upper end of the second round we could get Jaylen or Cam, we'd be absolutely ecstatic. So to come out of day 2 of the draft with both of them, joining us, that's an outcome that we thought there was zero chance of, going into the night. So to have all 3 of these individuals, sitting next to me here, diving in with this group, we'll sort out all the contractual stuff, in the days to come. But these are 3 guys that I think are going to be meaningful, really meaningful parts of our group going forward.
For Taylor, obviously you've had a couple of big physical centers here recently, in Jonas Valanciunas and Steven Adams. In terms of to play with, say, John Morant and Jaren Jackson in particular, in terms of that relationship, what is similar about what you think Zach can bring, and are there things that he might bring in terms of how you use him that you think will be different from those guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll lead off, and there's going to be, I think, constant comparisons, and Zach's his own person, which is what we're excited about. I think he's transformed himself since, the day he set foot, at Purdue. Obviously the style of play that we've had, leading into 2 bigs, both offensively and defensively, is going to give us a lot of options as we're looking at the depth at our big position. I think the chemistry that Ja was, building with, Jonas at first and Steven, the previous years, it's going to be new. He's going to build a new relationship with Zach, obviously, as he's building relationships with all the guys on the roster, and I think it's going to be a unique pairing. I think Zach's got unbelievable abilities as a playmaker, screen setter, the way that he can command so much attention, on the inside. Obviously with his post presence, the ability to give him the ball on the block to be able to go score and create advantages for us is going to be something that's going to be very exciting, but also, the pick and roll ability, putting the ball in his hands as a roller, a lob threat, someone that he can play in the half roll and play off of. That's what Ja's been talking to us about, is having that partner that he can have with. Jaren's versatility, I think has really grown the last couple of years since I've been here, offensively and defensively. I think the optionality, with what Zach's strengths are on the defensive side, it's going to be so complementary to what Jaren's strengths are as well. And then Jaren's growth, playing multiple positions on both sides of the floor. I think that's something that we're really encouraged by, and, being able to have Zach join our group and be able to unlock so many different things for those 2 guys that you asked about is something that's been in our conversations, for years, not just since the season ended, that Zach and I have been talking about. So, we're really excited about what Zach can give us, and we know he's only scratching the surface. And if you look at his trajectory over the 4 years of Purdue, what he's been able to accomplish, he's just highly motivated to even learn more and more and expand his game more and more on both sides, and that's what it's going to be like day 1 with him.
Taylor, as a master developer, what do you see Cam and Jaylen coming up in the next year as their development with this organization?
Yeah, I mean, I think they provide so many different traits. Obviously, I could probably talk for hours about them as individuals and people and how they're going to add to our culture and our organization, into that locker room. I mean, that's the first and foremost thing that we talk about. It's not just what, we do on the court, but these guys, all 3 of them are going to add so much into our locker room with the work ethic, the care factor, the unselfishness. But, to Jaylen and Cam, obviously, everyone's going to point to the shooting, right? Obviously, so much growth potential there, even, at this level, going from college to the NBA. I think that's something that really stands out to us as we study it a whole lot more. But these guys are so much more versatile. We're trying to play a collected brand of basketball, interchangeable, positionless, guys that can create advantages and maintain advantages for us. You're going to start, I'm giving you a precursor to when next season rolls around. But these guys in particular, whatever position, everyone's going to say, are they twos? Are they threes? Or ones, fours? You know, how are they going to guard? You know, they got versatility on the defensive side because they compete. They love to compete on that side of the floor. And then offensively, they're guys that not just can space the floor, but they can make quick decisions, and they've already displayed that. And you know how rookies, when they come in the league, you got to be able to pick up the speed of the game. You know, I've got the utmost faith in what they've been able to show at the collegiate level and the developmental pathway that we're going to hit them with, you know, rookie season, that they're going to be able to fit into our style of play seamlessly because of that collective tissue that we talk about. These guys epitomize that and displayed that at the collegiate level.
Zach, we heard them talk about the pairing with Ja. What do you think about that combination, what you guys could potentially be together? And also, I'm just curious if you got the chance to see his post on social media on draft night and if you got a laugh out of that.
Yeah, I saw his post for sure. Messaged him. It was funny. Good movie too. But I mean, it's exciting. Like being able to play with Ja. Like I think he's the best guard in the league. Like being able to have that pressure offensively and do the things that he does, which make my life so much easier.
Zach, ESPN Anscape did a remarkable story on your mom and your family and sort of your culture and upbringing from that standpoint. How much did growing up playing hockey and baseball as your favorite sports sort of help with your hand-eye coordination when it came time to growing as a basketball player? And secondly, where did all the swag come from that we saw on draft night?
Just a black on black fit. It wasn't anything crazy. Say that first part again. It helped a lot. Baseball obviously is a super intense hand-eye sport, so that helped me like just be coordinated when I was going through my big growth spurt. And then hockey, like you kind of learn to make reads really quickly. Like the puck moves so fast. And I think it also helped me just develop like strong legs. Like you always see the hockey players; they got like the big legs. I think that's kind of where I got it from.
Zach, you talked about how you're excited to play with Ja, but all three of y'all, when you look at the Grizzlies roster, the opportunity to learn from guys like Bane, Triple J, and Ja, how excited are y'all to get that rolling?
I mean, super excited. Just to be able to play with those players and what they bring to the table. Like just to get into practice, I can't wait.
Yeah, that's probably one of the things I'm most excited for is just being able to learn from those veterans, players that have been in the league for a while. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that.
Same here. Super excited to learn from those guys. You know, I think they've grown so quickly in this league. You know, having 4 or 5 years, they've really, you know, established themselves. So as any rookie should, you know, I really want to learn from them and, you know, see why they've had success so early on in their careers.
Hey, Zach. A few days ago, your former coach at Purdue, Matt Painter, said that you're going to definitely help boost the economy because he's never seen someone eat like you. So I'm curious to know, what do you love to, you know, eat? And I know you're going to dinner tonight, so hopefully you get some good Memphis food.
Yeah, I heard the food here is great. I like Italian, Mexican. Like I can eat. You can't get big without eating everything, so I'm not too picky.
How long did it take you to realize that you might be here with Santi Aldama, former teammate?
You know, it hit me kind of, that was one of the first things that I thought about when, you know, I heard my name. You know, what are the odds that we end up together? If, you know, obviously I had a different path from Loyola to a couple more schools, but, you know, we've kept in touch ever since that time. And, you know, I've been rooting for him from afar. And to be his teammate now is really special. And, you know, I can definitely learn from him and his experience so far in this league, and it'll be good to, you know, have somebody here that I know coming in as a new guy.
Taylor, is when you look at their skill sets, I know we talked a little bit with Zach the other day about how, you know, he envisions you potentially using Zach Edey, but how do you envision all three of these guys, you know, by their skill sets, by what you've seen, fitting into what you guys like to do?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of options for all three of these guys, and I think all three of these guys know, you know, they got to put in the work to earn it, you know, to get the opportunity. But we know they've got it in their DNA. I said a moment ago, with Zach's, potential in our, with our bigs, we can unlock so much with the guys that he can play alongside, offensively and defensively. Us coaches over the next couple of months are going to be talking about how we integrate all three of these guys. I mean, I think they got high basketball IQ, quick learners. I think our style plays, I talk about the collective, all those guys can fit the style of the play. The skills is going to be the thing that everyone's going to talk about. Where can you deploy the playmaking or the shooting or the defense, and how they're going to fit. We talked about, each three of these guys at length about how these guys are going to fit in the system that we've already established. Playing fast, getting out and running the floor. I think all three of these guys can do that. I think the interchangeability is something that, we've been striving for. I think all three of those guys can fit that. The playmaking is huge, whether they're, initial creators or playing on the second side, obviously, with the depth that we have, at the guard position already. And, obviously, Zach, working with JJ, I think that's going to be an unbelievable, tandem for us on both sides of the floor. But I think these guys, we say versatility, it's, very broad strokes, but we've already seen the playmaking that these guys have, and a lot of it, especially coming in as a rookie, is just making those quick decisions. As we're free flowing, read and react based offense, I think all those guys, whether it's the ball in their hands, playing with space, all these guys have displayed that at the collegiate level. So I'm really excited to untap even more in their game. Obviously, we've studied them at the collegiate level, what the skills they have, what's going to be transferable. But we all know that, the systems that they were playing with in college is going to be a little bit different. Of course, new terminology, new teammates, new points of emphasis, principles of play that we've been, emphasizing over the course of this summer. But all these guys have the full capability.
Plowman, when will the Summer League roster be released? I know it's coming up soon.
We've got a few more days here now. The Summer League, if you haven't seen the calendar, that doesn't start until, is it the 7th now? So we have a little time there. We're in the process of finalizing it. Obviously, just excited to be bringing these guys in here today, doing a proper welcome with them, their families. We're going to enjoy this moment. Then we'll quickly turn the page to the rest of the beginning of the offseason, but you won't have to wait too long there.
For Cam, Jaylen, for you two in particular, Taylor mentioned it. Everybody's going to talk about what you do, the shooting. How do you feel for each of you that your shooting, the way you shot the basketball, at the collegiate level, would translate, to the NBA level?
Yeah, I think it would definitely translate. At least, for me, in our UConn system, I feel like we had to get our shots a lot of different ways. Off of movement, off the dribble, catch and shoot. So I feel like that'll translate well to the NBA. Obviously, it'll be an adjustment as far as learning where the shots will come from within the offense and the kind of system that we'll run. But I think UConn prepared me well, at least to be able to adapt pretty quickly to a new system.
Yeah, I think it's pretty important, just be able to score without having to have the ball in your hands. I feel like I'm pretty good at, just being able to have that off-ball movement and find open gaps to shoot it. And obviously playing alongside people like Ja, he creates so much that you need kind of some floor spacers out there to just kind of open the floor for him.
Thanks, everyone.